Hello, hello. Me and Nicole back for our bi-weekly Tuesday Sell Everything Online show. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, how are
Yeah,
you?
good. Good. We were just talking briefly right before we went live. And so today we're going to cover a lot of topics, some Amazon, a little bit of Walmart, a little bit of whatnot. So today's kind of like an everything show. And I kind of like the idea of that. Sometimes I really like a show like we did last time where we just stuck to auctions and auction sites where it's like a singular topic. But sometimes I like a little mixture of all the things because a lot of us do all the things.
Right. Yes, and there's a lot going on right now.
A lot
So,
going on.
um, do you have our list?
I do. I have Facebook open, and I did pull up the tab on Tom's guide on the antitrust suit. But what I don't have a link to, what I didn't pull up, was the shipping changes on Amazon. So, is that something you know off the top of your head that you want to talk about, or is there a link that I should be pulling up?
No, they sent an email out to some people, not this past Friday, but the Friday before, well, the Thursday before the Friday before. Okay. And and I read it and it's very vague and but it's a huge deal, right? So I read it, my husband read it. We didn't ship anything that Friday. I figured a couple days later there'd be more insight in like the Facebook groups and things like that regarding it. And Monday we didn't ship. Tuesday we shipped. Okay, so like 5 days after this email goes out, and I had five of an item to inventory lab,
This okay.
and it
Now I
splits
know
it
what.
out evenly. Yes. Yeah, and it splits it out evenly. And my husband was so excited when he read this email, first of all, because he read it like he was going to get to lay out five boxes and then fill them all up equally. And so we're just prepping and shipping at the same time, which is very ideal for us with the space that we have. Um, so then I add 80 of another item, and it does not like add it all equally to each box. And I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to do this the way we always do. So then I add everything in, we prep it all, it's all over our tables. I submit it all to Amazon, and it's, 100 items here, 120 there, 200 to this. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. So I go back through Facebook, I take a break and I go back through Facebook and I'm like, somebody has to be talking about this. And there was a chat on the ASGTG group run by Ed Rosenberg. And there's a lady in there. I should have told her I was going to mention her today. Who, you know how you can just like tell people have integrity or like they're smart or they know what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, by what
This
they
was
wrote. Yeah.
Yes. And we'd had other conversations prior, but she had commented a few things. So I reached out to her and she's like, let's take this conversation off, Facebook. And so we became friends and we had an hour and a half long phone conversation while my husband finished prepping
Oh
shipping
wow.
everything.
I see.
Yes.
This is what I love about the Amazon community. Like she's a total stranger. You just
Yes.
reach out and she agrees to talk to you. I love it.
Right.
Hi, Reno.
Yeah, it's been my year of that. So I loved her though, and we had great conversations. She's a big seller and she does it with her family. And she's very smart. And she had to tell me 15 different times how, in 15 different ways, on how she read that and what she thought that was going to be, because it can be interpreted several different ways. Do you have to have five boxes to one warehouse? Do you have to have five identical boxes to five different warehouses? What is happening here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we did our shipment. Nothing changed in Inventory Lab. Nothing has changed in Inventory Lab. We watched the Chris and Chris show last week, and he basically said it looks like it hasn't rolled out to the API. Like your Inventory Lab, things like that, your programs like that. And so we've just been going business as usual and just kind of waiting for the moment that's going to change, even though there's no date. And it also wasn't posted under news, and it seems newsworthy to me. So
Absolutely. See, there's that weird. See, I hear myself echoing on your end when I talk. Like, do we need to get far?
I don't hear you echoing.
Reno, you're watching. Do you hear that feedback? No, right now I don't, but sometimes I do. Anyway, it still does make me confused. And I don't know about you with the 5. If that means that you have to have at least 5 of any single item in order to create the shipment without the fees, or is it really supposed to be that these 5 warehouses are supposed to, the boxes are supposed to be like we thought, like every single box is going to be identical and even amounts of the things. And if you have 5, it's because it's going to allocate at least one of the items to each box, right? Because Amazon gives 5 shipments.
Right. So the next day I go and I'm like, okay, I think I take this that each box has to be identical. So then what we did, because there's no clarity and you can't just call Amazon and say, hey, clear this up for me. We had one box going to each warehouse except for the final warehouse, and it was going to be 3 boxes. And we made those 3 boxes identical. And so then I called my friend that I made and I said, I don't think I have this right. And she's like, no, you don't. She said what it is. And I verified this by posting on Facebook. And the general consensus is that you have one box going to 5 separate warehouses, let's say, and those 5 boxes have to be identical. But then after that first box, your other stuff can be in box 2 or whatever. And it has to be a minimum of 5 so that it's spread out evenly over the 5 different warehouses they have you ship to. So that's the general consensus going right now. I'm not sure how everyone came to that conclusion after I've read this policy and read the email over and over again, but that's what I'm rolling with, that eventually I'll be able to lay out 5 boxes and prep them all and close them, and it'll just be easier that way.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And I did a shipment for 2 people today, and I made sure that I had more of 5 of each ASIN that I did, because I am aware of that now. So obviously not doing it for myself. What's so funny is this week for me is and for those of you who are new to watching, I had lost my Amazon account back in June when there was a big mass deactivation. So I'm still getting emails from Amazon. I got an email this last week of Amazon giving me advertising suggestions for my items that are still in my advertising campaigns to help me boost sales because I'm not making the sales. I'm like, are you kidding me?
You should fix that, Tina. What are you doing? It's almost fourth quarter. What are you doing?
I'm serious. So, and then also on that front, while we're still on the topic of Amazon, my lawyer reached out today and sent a letter for those of us that wanted to be part of this class action suit. I don't know that it's really a class action. I don't think you can call it that, but he's going to be reaching out to every single state senator of every state that he has a client in. So, to get them involved, because what they're doing is just it's illegal. What Amazon is doing. So and then we saw this here. Let me screen share. I'm going to Ed's group. This is a group that we refer to a lot. If people are not in it, you really should be. Because it's such a really helpful group, and it's the Amazon seller performance suspensions, right owner legal issue. If you type into Facebook just this ASGTG, it pulls up this group. It's all about the legal things and what's going on with Amazon. And here is a letter that is going out to Amazon from a congressman. So I believe this is what you sent me, a link to the article, which I also have pulled up on a different tab, where I believe they are reopening a previous case. Now, I didn't read this, but I believe it's all part of what you sent me in the link.
I don't know if they're related, but I did read that, and it was written beautifully. And he talks about his constituents being suspended and their inventory being held and their funds being held, and there's no communication, and all of the things that we lose sleep over or our real life experiences that real everyday people have.
Yeah.
And if it's hard because you hope that like with something like that, something will come of it. And then you also don't want it to be like worse.
Yeah. Yeah. But for the people who don't have their account, what do you have to lose? Your account's already gone. So whatevs, that's,
Yep.
and then this other one is the one that you shared with me last night about Amazon Marketplace facing revived antitrust suit after appeal court's reversal. And
Yes.
this is on this tomsguide.com.
Yeah.
This is,
So
yeah,
that was a case that was closed a couple years ago and is being reopened.
Reopened. Yes. So there are definitely lawsuits going on with Amazon, again, with antitrust, with all of the things that they're doing, where Amazon has closed down other, has closed down seller stores. And then they're taking over the type of items that that person sold. So that Amazon is essentially eliminating their competition, which is the third party sellers.
About a year ago, they started disposing of some of my inventory, and it's not a lot. It's like $1 to $5 worth every month, but I cannot find where they got the idea that that was okay and how I changed that.
Yeah.
And we can have that conversation off of here or something, but I'm curious. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't ask for any of my stuff.
Yeah, like maybe 7 or 8 months ago, I sent in a batch of inventory to Amazon. They were 2 items that looked very similar, but they were different, but they were similar in nature. I labeled them correctly. My FNSKU label on them were correct. When they got checked into Amazon, Amazon deemed them as incorrect for whatever reason. They then charged me to relabel all of the inventory, these 2 particular SKUs. And I want to say I sent in 50 to 80 of each SKU. And so I had them correct, but Amazon flip-flopped them of what they thought it should be. I'd never had this happen before. They charged me to relabel them all. Then I started getting returns it back to Amazon, getting bad feedback left and reviews saying that they didn't get the item they ordered. I ordered this, but I got that. And then that made me question that I had labeled them wrong. I didn't even know Amazon had relabeled them or done this yet, but that's how I found out. So I went pulling a few of each of those 2 ASINs. I think I pulled like 4 or 5 of each one so I could have enough of them back to see what was going on. And sure enough, you could tell it was like a different kind of sticker where Amazon relabeled them. So I had to close down the listing, pull on my inventory, messaged Amazon through the, account health, through my case log, got to the bottom of that. When they got them, they charged me to relabel them, and they would not credit me back the money that they charged me to relabel them. They wouldn't remove the bad dings on my account for the comments of me sending the people the wrong thing, which was their fault because they chose to relabel my inventory that I had relabeled correctly. And they didn't reimburse me all of the shipping fees of me having to pull my inventory back out, have it shipped back to me so I could relabel it the way I had it and send it back in.
Okay. So I had talked with you a couple weeks ago about an item that we're just like throwing up Amazon on everybody here. Hope you're all ready for this. But you told me, you shared that story with me because I had an item that they sent me a case and they said, your item is labeled this way, but it like the UPC doesn't match. And they shared photos. And I think when I had talked to you, hadn't seen the photos yet, but they shared photos where they literally had peeled back my label and the UPC, said, this is supposed to be a 2-pack, but you have this on the single. And I was like, how do I address this, Tina? And you gave me some ideas or whatever. And you know what I ended up doing? I wrote them back and I said, this is the right label on the right product. Please activate. And they said, okay.
And
I
yeah, that would have been nice if they would have reached out to me on mine. I would have been like, no, thank you. Don't relabel them. I did it correctly. Thank you very much.
right. Yeah, I was like, I felt so like empowered is the
Yeah, well,
word.
it's
I
nice
felt
when you get an
empowered.
easy, yeah, it's nice when you get an easy win with an Amazon case. And everybody deals with these frustrations with Amazon. That is part of selling on Amazon. Um, the good can definitely outweigh the bad, right? But the thing is what we always live with a little bit amount of fear of the bad because you just never know what's going to happen with Amazon. Oh, and another thing is I got another email yesterday from Amazon. Let you know how now Amazon will send you emails letting you know that they removed a bad review on a listing because it was
A bad actor.
a bad actor. Yeah, thank you. So I got one of those emails yesterday letting me know that one of the product reviews was lifted off of one of my products from a bad actor. It's like, okay, doesn't matter to me now, but
They're just doing God's work. That's it.
hi, Wendy. I see you in the chat, and Sherry and Millennial Money Mom. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. All right, enough of Amazon. So we are going to move on to. Do you want to move on to our whatnot talk, or what was the other thing that we had lined up? eBay.
I do have one more thing to say about Amazon. Okay. Well, I very much am the kind of person where if I see somebody doing something and I'm really inspired by it, I'm like, oh, I can do that too. And I watched a video about, I think it's FBA Sam is her name. And she was on Chris and Chris's show a couple weeks ago. They said it was their top most watch show and or episode. And she just like inspired me. I don't know if it was what I needed or what, but
And she was on the Chris show.
She was on the Chris and Chris show, and she started last year, and her goal is 4 million at the end of this year, and she only does OA, and only her and her husband prep. And I saw one of her posts where she said, I bet I'm the only person who's like this. And I was like, nope, we're like that. It's just my husband and I, we do just OA, and we're not on our way to do 4 million, but we do a reasonable amount. But I was like, if you can do it, I can do it too. That's the thing that I felt after I watched it. I was like, oh, I know how to do this. I can do this. And so the next day, we were staying home on a Saturday for some reason. I don't know why, but I was like, well, I'll do some OA. So I had listened to her, and she loves storefront stalking and a few other things. And I also love storefront stalking. And I pull up this storefront, and it's a banger, and it's just hit after hit after hit. And I'm like, Shannon, look at this. Like, I was so excited to my husband, and we started shipping that stuff in today. But I think sometimes, like, just hearing somebody who's doing well, and you're like, oh, she has 2 kids and she works from home and only does
Why
this.
don't you reach out to her and let's have her on with us?
I know, right? I thought to myself, because I feel like I'm building like my army of like cool resellers, like the people you want in your arsenal, right?
Yes.
And yeah, she absolutely, like, I listened to her and I was like, oh, we'd be great friends. And yeah, so I'll do that.
Yeah, because that'll be fun. It's always fun to have other people on and their perspective, where they're coming from, what they're doing. Everybody in this community has something unique to offer. And a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't know much, but it's like we all do know something, and we do things a little bit differently. And I always say this, that there's not one way to do online selling. And there's just so many cool ways. I was listening to this YouTuber this morning. They're called Thrift Panda, I think is the name. It's a husband and wife team. And they changed the way that they were doing their business. And they said that they make more now than they ever did in their lives. And so I guess they used to live in Austin, Texas. They live in San Francisco now. And as you know, it's very expensive. And she had said, I want to say it was 2 years ago, she just reached out to a few people on Facebook, asking if they wanted to buy like thrifted things, like wholesale. So they created this wholesale business for thrifted items. She says because she was just really good at it, her and her husband, and they would go to the bins. And I guess they're in Austin, Texas, that it was by pound. There was only like 89 cents, like super cheap. And she said everything they buy, you can sell for $20 or $30. And she's just really good at it. And she got more than they could ever sell. So she started, putting it like in bulk lots, selling it to people to where she could profit. I don't know what the dollar amount was per item, but let's say it was like $5 an item or whatever, knowing that the people are going to sell it for $20 to $30. And they ended up making $100,000 that year selling stuff like that she was getting at the bins in bulk to resellers, priced low enough to them. They didn't have to go out shopping Goodwill and all the stores where you would be buying things $5, $8, $10. So it was still a deal to them. And so that was really inspirational. And that's what I love. There's so many ways to do things in this community. There's always something to buy and resell in many different ways. So I thought that was a really cool thought too.
Yeah, no, I love it. And it reminds me of a lot of what people are doing on Whatnot, because like the show I'm watching right now is, he's starting
watching the show while we're live, bidding on Whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's starting everything at $1, and I'm able to buy some things and then I'll be able to flip it later. But you don't always have to be the person getting the end highest price. You can offer great deals to people and you made some money and they're going to make some money and everybody's happy. That can lead into our Whatnot conversation. There was something else I was going to say.
If any of you do Whatnot, raise your hand in the comments. I want to know. And I want to know if you're interested in selling on Whatnot or sourcing on Whatnot. Now, of course, this would be sourcing for eBay, not Amazon. But I'm just curious.
Yeah. So I think it's just, there's a million different ways you can do this business. And I think that's what I wanted to say. There's affirmation in knowing that what you're good at, or if you have goals, that they're still possible. So I think that's kind of my takeaway from Sam FBA was just, I have big goals and I hadn't really been inspired in a while. And to just be like, oh, this is happening right now. She's doing this thing. I can do that too. And so sometimes you just need that affirmation that it's still a viable thing and you can still do it because somebody else is doing it and they're not reinventing the wheel. She's not the first person to do that. She's just doing it well and talking about it. So, that's kind of my takeaway there. But to lead into, we can do Whatnot or eBay. Which one would you rather do?
Keep going with Whatnot.
Okay. So this past weekend, let's see. So I was home on Saturday, right? I did some OA and then I went out to the barn and I did a pop-up and sold some stuff that way, which was nice. And then I said, I think we're going to go to a toy show tomorrow. Who wants me to go to a toy show? And when we go to a toy show, I always walk through first. I'll look for anything that we might want because we're toy collectors too. And any really great deals, I can always run them later. And then I go live. And so I scheduled my toy show and I have shows scheduled out for months. And so I'll just take one of those that has saves and I'll pop it into whatever day I'm actually going to do a show. And so I already had 60 saves on this show and it just said live from the toy show. And so Sunday
saves, just for people who are watching who haven't done Whatnot, when you build up a following on Whatnot, and you can start getting, you get followers like you do on YouTube, right? And so they see that you are going to do a Whatnot show because you show up as a little advertisement, and they follow you on your channel. They might bookmark it and save that, so that way they don't miss you when you do go live. So what Nicole is saying is that she had 60 people already saved that Whatnot show. So she wants to have the biggest audience possibly be alerted that she's going live, because if you're going to be selling stuff, you want the most people watching at that time.
Thank God Tina is here to help clear up what I'm trying to say.
Well, yes. People like yourself who do it so often, it's like, sometimes you can skim over those things, and then people who are newer at it are like, wait, she said something about that.
Right.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
I like to point those little things out.
I need you to follow me around in life, because so many times people are like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so I had it bookmarked. So I scheduled all these shows out. It lets you do like 12 at the most or something. And so I'll say I'm going to have 12 of these shows, and then I know I'm going to be going to some of those, but I don't know the exact date. And so I moved that right over conveniently to Sunday. I put some notes in, and so when I'm at this toy show, I see this giant bin of Monster High dolls, and they're $2 a piece, and there had to be 200 of them in there. Oh, and I was like, right, I was like, oh, my people will love this. And then I found another bin with some other stuff or whatever. So I go live, and I had been in somebody was at a show, and they were trying to sell live on Saturday, and they were going too fast. And so while I was watching it, I was like, okay, I need to take my time. I need to announce the price of items as I'm looking at them. So we're going to scroll over things slowly. I'm going to announce the price. And I know a good deal when I see it. So if I see a good deal, I'm just going to run it. So many times I see people will ask, if there's anything you're looking for, let me know, things like that. And so I went right to the bin, and I said, these are $2. And so we're going to run them for $5, and we're going to start them at $5. And
so that's right here, because when you go to a toy show, I'm going to pull up this little Lego bag. All right. So let's say you saw these are the best Legos in the whole world. And, you know, normally they go for $20, and they're in that $2 bin.
Yep.
How do you know where you have to price it on what not to profit? So they don't care that they know that you have to profit. So as someone watching you, of course, I don't expect it to get it for the price at $2 that you're getting it for. So when you see these for $2, and you're telling us these are $2, and I'm starting it at $5, what's your profit? Like, what does what not take? How do you know what you're going to make if it only goes for the $5 and doesn't actually get higher than $5?
Yeah. So I believe they take 8% plus the processing fee, which is 2.9% plus 30 cents for every item. So that's a hard one sometimes, because, if you do a claim and you say, okay, everyone that you see you want, say that you want it. And so maybe they have a pile of 10 of them, let's say, and you run it for $50, you're only paying that 2.9 plus 30 cents once. But the odds of it getting bid up, right. The odds of it getting bid up are slimmer, because the odds of 2 people wanting those 10 items is less. So you kind of got to read your crowd and kind of see. So sometimes I'll do claims, and if 2 people say they want it, then we run it and they can bid it up. Sometimes I just run it. I was in front of this giant box of stuff. I was already taking up enough space. I ran everything individually just so I could set it. I could hand it to the dealer at the same time. So we start running stuff, and not everything goes for $5. When something's $5 at the show, I run it for 10. When something is $10, I run it for 16.
Because you've already figured out the math of it all to know that you're going to at least even make $1, right?
Yeah. So I add at minimum 30% to everything, and that covers my fees, which is the 8% plus the 2.9 plus the 30 cents. And then I make something on top of it. So if it's $100 item, I'm going to run it for $130, and that covers all of that. So you can run it for more. There are some people who will say everything's double asking price. Well, if it's $1 and you're running it for $2, you're not making anything. If it's 100 and you run it for 200, the odds of people bidding seem slim to me. I was in that show Saturday, and I was running it myself. Like, somebody else was running it, but I was telling them, they were in front of a table, and I said, make an offer on these 5 items at this price, and then I want you to run it for this much. And I was figuring it in exactly how I would do it, and they were just doing what I was telling them to do.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. And then where they were, I knew the person that had the table there. So I said, tell them it's Nicole from Ohio. And they said, oh, Nicole from Ohio, she can have whatever she wants. So That was cool too.
Yeah, because well, they know you now at the toy show. I also have a question. So like on eBay, for instance, if I sell something for 50 and I also charge 10 to ship, eBay charges fees on my 50 and my $10 shipping
Correct.
collectively. Does
Right.
Whatnot also charge, is part of that fee the shipping fee too, or are you not sure?
I am not 100%. That's actually a great question. Let me write that down.
You're like, I need to Google it.
I do, yes. Is the fee on taxes and shipping?
Yes.
Because
Now,
that may change how I do things.
yeah. And then on Whatnot, I haven't done it yet, as you know. I want to. I think Whatnot is a great place for people in reselling if you like to go finding deals like Nicole does at shows, or just through Facebook Marketplace. If you like to go to thrift stores, I think Whatnot is also a great place for Amazon sellers that have kind of like that dead stock inventory that didn't move, but you feel like it's good enough for reselling and you want to get something back for it. I think Whatnot would be a great place to move that inventory. And I think Whatnot is a great place for resellers on Mercari, Poshmark, and eBay to source from off of Whatnot, because there are some good deals on Whatnot. Now, I watched like 2 YouTube videos because I kind of want to know how to set it up. I had a whole tote ready. Remember that one weekend I was going to go live. And so I watched a couple of videos and I saw some people they have Whatnot on their computer and they're also going through their phone. So I noticed most of them were like talking and showing and doing with their phone, but then they also had their computer screen and they either had a helper or they themselves were doing something over on so they were doing two. I know you solely do it only through your
My phone.
What I couldn't tell is it looked like you can create listings on Whatnot, just like eBay or Mercari, and those can either be part of your show or not. They can just be for sale. When you are doing a Whatnot show, do you have to create a listing for everything that's in that show? You don't
I
even have
never
to.
do.
So you just say, I'm going to sell, toy trucks today. And you don't have to have anything listed. You're just going to show them live. Okay, I have this truck here and this is what's so great. And bids start at 5.
Yeah, if you ever want to, I can literally talk you through how to do it like right on your phone. We can even do it on our show. I could walk you right through it and you could have a show set up within 2 minutes.
Yeah. See, and where I got the other part I got hung up on was shipping. It didn't seem like I could pick what I wanted to charge for shipping. I got stuck on that part through my phone. Of course, this was a week where I was overwhelmed because I was pulling Amazon inventory. And I'm sure if I was more calm, I could have figured it out. But you want to make sure your shipping is set up correctly. So if you know most of your items are going to fit in a flat rate priority envelope and roughly everything is going to cost $7.95 to ship, fine. Like if people are selling clothes like shirts and jeans, I'm guessing those also would go in a flat rate priority envelope. And if you do that as a blanket shipping cost, some things might cost you less, some things a little more, but in the end, I think you'll be fine. So I thought shipping really mattered, because if you're going on there and now you're selling stuff and you're losing on shipping, then your efforts were a good learning experience, but maybe you didn't do so well.
Yeah, I think the most dangerous thing on Whatnot is to sell too much the first time. So it's good to just do a small show and kind of get the experience. I did do an 8-hour show one day and it took me the whole next day to ship it and it was a nightmare. Not again. And but the good experience of it was I really learned the limits on the boxes, because you have to have everything be within, I think it's 1728, whatever a 12 by 12 by 12 is. And so there were things I learned in there, and it was just the cost of learning, basically, just the same as going to college or something. But I learned a lot, and I did change some things up. This is, I don't know if you can see this.
I find when you put your phone, yeah, I can see it. Like usually when I turn things sideways, you can see things better. I
Okay.
just feel like when you're on Whatnot and you're showing stuff, you also have people messaging you, and then it's like you have to look at that, talk about the thing. I'm afraid, like, oh my God, am I going to get overwhelmed with people talking to me talking about the thing, and oh, you won it.
You know what we could do? We could do a private show, just you and me, and you can just run stuff and kind of get that experience before you even go live.
Oh yeah, because
Um,
private shows I saw for practice, I did see that
yeah.
you could do that. And I don't know if anybody watching today, if you've ever thought about that yourself of doing Whatnot, if the kind of things that concern me concern you too, and if you've even watched Whatnot. In fact, we could pull Whatnot up, you know, on the computer and like look at what a Whatnot show looks like if no one has ever seen it. But it's people like me right now, you know, talking to all of you, and it's like, oh, I've got this chapstick, and like you set how long it's going to go, like 30 seconds, right? Like quicker is usually better. So in 30 seconds you're talking about this chapstick. In the meantime, you're looking at your phone and people are typing in chats just like we would hear on YouTube when you guys, and then you're answering their question, and then you're acknowledging who won, and then so you have to click something, I'm guessing, on the back end at the same time, and then you're grabbing your next item to talk about it. And people who do it, I don't feel like they look any more intelligent than I do, so I know that I can do it. But
You
the
can do
thought
it.
of it sometimes seems like, oh my God, it's going to be too much at once, and I'm going to be like, oh wait, I forgot a button, and who got what? Do I need to make a note?
You have the perfect personality for it. Like you would be great. It's so when you click on the schedule a show and you put in the time and your title, and eventually you'll have moderators. So people that are always there that will announce things for you, like if you have a coupon or whatever the case may be, or they'll keep people in line. And you schedule your show, then once the show is scheduled, you can go in and you can add your auction items. And all I do is I add in 100 of 0 to 1 ounce items, 100 of 1 to 3 ounce items, 100 4 to 7 ounce,
But you're
100.
not what they
No,
are idling
no.
on.
And right. And so then when somebody buys that chapstick, on a post-it, I'll just write Tina and then set it aside. Or sometimes my husband will have boxes for people because they'll be buying so much that he'll have a box for Tina and a box for Reno.
To you during these live shows.
He used to. I don't need his help really anymore. I can do it all myself.
So you'll do an 8-hour show and then constantly be writing down the people's name, what they got, and then not miss a beat.
Yes. And then you can also, when you're going to ship people stuff, if you're not sure. So like when I was at the toy show, I don't have post-it notes. So I hold the item in front of the camera and I say, congratulations, Tina. And so, and I hold it there for like a couple seconds longer.
Video and see who got it.
Yes. And right. And it will, you don't have to like rewatch the whole thing. You can just click on that winning and it will show that period of time where they won that doll or thing or whatever it is you're selling.
On the back end, their name is there because they've already paid for their item. So all you have to do is scroll and find that person's name and then know what they got.
Right. And it'll say Tina won 5 items from me. And so I know I have 5 items I got to put in your box.
Yeah, I definitely would want to start off with just a small amount of things. I can see why. And I know like with everything, once you get doing it, you do it like it's nothing. Yeah.
Right.
But that does seem
like Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like work on like big people's accounts because you're a pro at it, but there was a point where you didn't know what you didn't know.
This is true. Yes. And I was helping somebody. I got another new client today, and then somebody else reached out to me and they want me to possibly work for they're like one of these kind of like my Amazon guy, an agency that helps clients. And so they reached out to me to have me help some of their students with calls. So yes, I do a lot of calls and I like doing that. I really like helping people.
Good. Yeah, you seem to be good at it.
Yeah, I like
You're
it.
more
I like
people-y than me, I think.
that's what Lucy always says. She's like, I don't like to people.
Ryan says
Oh,
hi.
yeah. Hi, Ryan. Yeah, I just saw him pop into the chat. So, what was our next topic? eBay, right? Did you do much eBay this week?
How's eBay going for you?
eBay's going well. And again, we're still only doing it kind of part time. It's
Are
so
we
fun.
frozen?
No, I think you're just a little blurry. Your connection's been weird, a little bit, like as far as me echoing from time to time, and now you're just a little blurry. You'll come back in focus, I'm sure. But yeah, eBay, we still have been doing it somewhat on a part time because I'm juggling a lot of things, right? I do a lot of coaching, I do a lot of ad management, I do a lot of things for clients. So that takes up some time. Still been dealing with some Amazon inventory, right? And moving that out and doing the eBay and planning a baby shower. So I have had a lot of things going on. I will say I've made sure I've made eBay listings go active daily. So every day I'm at least listing a minimum of 5 things a day. So my eBay sale, we're now having orders every day. Like we're shipping out eBay stuff every single day now. And we're picking up inventory, whether we've bought it at online auctions or like today, we went to 2 online auction locations, picked up stuff that we bid and won. And then one of them is right next door to the Goodwill bin. So we ran in there for 1 hour, spent like $11. One of the items we bought at the bins today, it's something my husband saw. It's like guy stuff for like I think cars. It's a rechargeable battery like a cordless drill would have, but it's for like those remote cars. I don't know, but that alone, the plug-in and the battery together sell for $30 on eBay, and it had a really great sell-through rate. So just that one sale will more than pay for the whole little $11 haul. And there was a bunch of other stuff in that bag too. So the bins have been really, really great for sourcing because of how cheap everything is. In fact, I don't know if you can hear in the background, my husband's out there testing stuff that we bought today. So we must have charged that back.
That's so nice of him. Is it hotter than heck there? Because it's so hot here in Ohio. It's like
Yes.
90 something.
Driving around, it was 101 degrees out. 101.
No.
I'm just waiting for it to hit below 100. We are leaving next week. So next week, a week from tomorrow, I will be at Disneyland. So yeah, we're leaving Tuesday to go to California just for a little funsy getaway.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to hit some thrift stores there on the first day. We're going to try to find one of their bins out there, just hit some thrift stores while we're there. The next day, we're going to go to Disneyland.
I've never been, so I can't wait to hear all about it.
Oh gosh, I couldn't even count how many times I've been there. That brings me to another point is this trip, like my 2 other trips this year, have all been paid for with credit card points. And that was the one thing you wanted to talk about was the credit card that you really like using at Walmart.
Yeah, I have 2 updates on credit cards that are important. So we just dropped our 19-year-old off at college last Friday, and he bought a bunch of stuff at Walmart. And I said, did you use your money or my money? And he said, well, your money, of course. And so I looked it up because he has a Shop Your Way credit card, the one that gets me the 10% back on gas, groceries, and restaurants. And I looked, and if you shop at Walmart in store, they code it as grocery. That's perfect.
Yes, because no other credit card, none of my credit cards that I earn higher cash back on groceries take Sam's Club or Walmart as grocery purchases. It has to be at like a grocery store. So that's really cool to know. Now, didn't you say that you cannot get Shop Your Way credit card anymore, or you can right now, but it's about to go away?
No, so the Shop Your Way credit card better not ever go away. But the one that is going away is the Walmart Capital One credit card. And it's not exactly that it's going away, but it's 5% cash back. And it has been for years online. And they are ending that agreement or something along those lines, and it's moving down to only 1.5% cash back, which is just not good enough. So I'm hoping that they have a new agreement with some other credit card carrier and continue on with a 3 to 5% would be good. If not, the only option I found that I would be kind of interested in doing would be the PayPal credit card, which I believe is 3% if you check out with PayPal, which you can do with Walmart.
But your Shop Your Way credit card, what is your percentage at Walmart again that you get cash back?
Yeah, so in store, and I just found out today, or just looked today and verified that Walmart in-store shopping gets you 10% because it's coded as grocery. But what the Shop Your Way credit card gets you this year, and it's been this way for me and a friend of mine that have it, is 10% cash back every month on gas, grocery, and restaurants. Up to $1,000 spent gets you $100. Up to $2,000 spent gets you $200.
Now, what about Walmart online purchases? So if it's 10% in store, my hunch is it's less online.
So I would never use my Shop Your Way credit card for Walmart online because it's not coded as grocery. I always use the Capital One Walmart credit card at walmart.com. And when that goes away, if there isn't a good replacement, I'm going to switch to the PayPal credit card, which will get me 3% back at Walmart.
So when you consider online with the Capital One Walmart card mixed with Rakuten, it's like you get to double dip with the credit cards. For me, I don't have that one, the Shop Your Way credit card. I can't remember if I applied for it or if I didn't because I had just gotten a different credit card. And, you know, when it's back to back, a lot of times you get denied because I didn't end up getting it. So I don't know if it's because I was denied or if it was because I had just gotten a card. I'm not sure. But I'm a big fan of Chase and American Express. And I know I have links below this video. They're like a referral type links, so I get points if people sign up for it. You should see if you have one of those with the Shop Your Way, a referral link, because if it gives you points, right, that could be beneficial for sharing it. Because a lot of times then when you share it, the person who's signing up actually gets more points than they would have sometimes on their own. And so it can be a really nice, like, what do they used to call like pyramid marketing? Like if you have a friend that needs a credit card, right? Like you could all like help hook each other up with some extra points. But when I say with Chase, I just applied for and got, because I like to get new cards every year because of the point. I work the point system as well. And so I just got in the mail my new Chase Inc. business card. So I have an Amex card and then, you know, like covering up my stuff. So I got this one with that says, you know, the ink on it, right? And then I also have the Chase Sapphire. Well, what I like about Chase credit cards is that when you have points with any Chase card, you can't, if I have, so like I already have my Chase Sapphire card, which I love. And if I now I have to spend $8,000 in 3 months on this Business Inc. to get 120,000 credit travel points or, you know, credit card points, I can transfer that 120 to my Chase Sapphire or vice versa, my Sapphire to the Chase Inc. Chase allows you to transfer all of your points just to one of your cards. Chase also, you can stay for like 1 penny to the dollar at Hyatt hotels with your Chase points. So if you are traveling, you can, and you want to book a room, you're going to always want to use Hyatt with Chase. You find out how much it is on the Hyatt website, because on travel sites like for hotels or airlines, you can look for paying with dollars or paying with points. It's always an option on that site. So when you're on Hyatt, you want to switch over to what will it cost you in points. Then you go to your Chase account. You can then transfer your points to Hyatt Hotel. So you have to go on Hyatt and make an account with them and write any of these travel partners, transfer your points from Chase to Hyatt. the exact amount you're going to need for the time that you stay. It takes minutes. Then go ahead and book your room or your stay with your points. And that's kind of how you do the point gain, and you get more bang for your buck for your points, which is why every year I usually try to get another new card to get that intro big point. Like I'm going to get the 120 points with this new Chase Ink card. I'm going to spend that amount of money anyway, so it's easy. Now, because I have that, my Chase Sapphire's on the back burner. I'm not using it until I get my 8,000 spend on this card, which I've had like 3 days now. Because I'm not worried about the points, because I can transfer them all to one card. Likewise, for those of you who use Rakuten, the only credit card that works with Rakuten is the American Express card. And what I mean works with Rakuten is that with Rakuten, you can get your quarterly, their big fat cash check, whatever it's called, where you get the check sent to you in the mail for the dollar amount. Or you can have it, instead of a cash back, you can just have it go quarterly to your American Express card in points. So that dollar amount in points to your American Express card. And if you're traveling smart with the point system and you're transferring your points to airlines and hotels, you get more bang for your buck. If you were going to get that Rakuten check for, say, $100, if you had it converted to points with American Express, that $100 can now become $200 in point value for you. So I have my American Express card linked to Rakuten, so I don't get the cashback checks anymore. Mine goes to my American Express card as points. And so that's the beauty of it, is a lot of times you get that cash back. And sometimes with American Express, they also have deals, like all credit cards do, where if you use that credit card at, Kohl's, you get a $10 credit back if you spend $100 at Kohl's. Plus you get the Rakuten points and, and all of these deals, like you with your Walmart, right? Like with your Shop Your Way Walmart card, you can also finagle things like that as well. So there's so many ways to use our credit cards so smart if you like to travel. And so, for the amount of money all of us sellers spend, there's no reason that you should not have free vacations every year.
Free vacations every year. I love it. I have a question. So is Hyatt the best way to redeem? Like, that's the best platform to go through, like hands down, for like
with
a good use of your points?
With Chase cards specifically.
Okay.
It's specific to the Chase card. I don't know why they honor the Chase points so much, but it's pennies to the dollar of what your hotel room would be. So you could have a 300 a night.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
I have the Hyatt credit card, which is through Chase. And I get like a free night every year for the $95 annual fee. But so I pay for it. But that's good to know, that if I need like an additional night or something, I can add it on. And you've already done the research for me and said this is your best bang for your buck.
Yes, I can send you over all of my little cheat sheet notes, because as I learn other things, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, because I will forget, because it's not something I do every day. I'm not booking a rental car every day, right? So you see it once, you read it, and then I literally have a Google cheat sheet with all of my notes, and I'm always adding to it and trying to get better. Another thing that I learned this last year, and I used it, and it was fantastic for traveling, is if you are a member at Costco, with your Costco membership, if you book your rental car through the Costco travel portal, which comes with your Costco membership, you can add 2 drivers to the rental car for free. Usually what's customary at any time you're renting a car is one of you is the driver. So if you're a married couple going with friends, one of you is listed on the contract at the car rental agency that you use as the driver. You have to give them your driver's license, so on. And always the other person ends up getting too, right? That's just what we do. But if you should get in an accident or something should happen, you're not really covered, because you weren't the driver on record with, let's say, Budget Rent a Car. but
You
with
have
your
to do a
Costco,
Chinese fire drill very fast.
or you have to pay. You have to pay to have the second person be able to be a driver too at a daily rate. But if you have a Costco membership, you can have 2 drivers for free. And so that was a great little tip. And we used that on our last 2 car rentals that we did. So that was a really cool little upgrade that I found out. Also, another cool thing that I do is I always pay my cell phone bill with my business credit card, because I consider my cell phone bill a business expense, because 90% of the use of my phone is for business, right? And like, you use it for whatnot. We're using it to scan stuff. We're outsourcing with it. We're filming YouTube on it. You know, all of us are using our cell phone for a business, and I pay for it with my business credit card. I used to pay for the additional insurance through my through my cell phone provider, to have the insurance on my phone to cover it should I break it, screen damage. If you have the American Express card and you pay your cell phone bill with that card, it automatically gives you insurance as long as you pay. So if you, in the month of August, paid your very first cell phone bill with your American Express card, and you broke your phone a week later, it's automatically covered on that insurance. You don't even have to have paid for your cell phone bill this whole time on it. You know, the month that you paid your bill, if you broke it that month, you're covered. I have 3 cell phone bills on my phone plan, and I was paying insurance on all 3. I canceled my insurance on all 3 of them last year when I learned this trick, and that saved me quite a bit of money. Isn't the insurance, I want to say it was like $20 a phone a month or something like that. I
It
think
should be 7 to 10 per. It's a lot.
I used to work for cell phone company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I knocked off 3 cell phone insurances off of my bill because I pay for it with my American Express card. And so because some of these cards have annual fees, right? So the Amex card, I want to say it's like $385 a year, a fee. So with that $385 a year a fee, I already get, you figure what I'm saving on my cell phone bill, the insurance, when you deduct that, and like with my Chase Sapphire, you already get $300 worth of travel credit a year on with that, right? So you deduct these things and like it's almost like you prepaid for it, right? But with my Chase Sapphire, I get free money every month for DoorDash, and then 4 times a year they give me an additional $10 free money credit with DoorDash. With my American Express, I get $20 of free food every month with Grubhub. And so every month we order, like right near our house, we get pizza one time. We get like a free dinner every month with our Amex at $20. You add that $20 up every month at the end of the year, that the fee that you get ends up really being a wash. And then really you're in the green because of all of these travel perks you get with the points. So I really encourage all of you to really reconsider the kind of credit card you're using. I know I've talked about this before a little bit, like on the Finance Friday shows of credit card. There's so many YouTubers out there that talk about how to work the credit card game. They're not resellers, but it doesn't really matter because it's about the spend. And you don't even really have to spend a ton. You just have to spend at the right places. Like if you're already someone that goes out to eat and you dine often, or fast food or whatever, you want to get that correct credit card that gives you that bigger points on dining. Like yours, you said gives 10 times the points on dining.
10%. It's so it's 10. The Shop Your Way card is a total unicorn. It's 10% back on gas, grocery, and restaurant as a statement credit, but you also earn points on all of your purchases. So like last month, I got the 200 back on my 2000 spend, but then I also had a bunch of points, which I always use towards gift cards. That's really the only thing you can use the points towards. But like if we want like a new Nintendo Switch game, or my kid wants some Robux for his Roblox or something, I'll do that. That Chase business card that you got is the one that I use for my eBay shipping. So for any eBay sellers, that's a great card to put on file in your PayPal account. to get
Yes,
points.
be buying all of your shipping labels on Pirate Ship instead of buying them through eBay. Isn't that don't you go onto Pirate Ship and buy all your
I
labels?
don't. Actually, I priced all of that out today. And because a friend of mine shared, the Beard did a video on doing Pirate Ship. And we didn't even, I know we're past our time, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it. But I ran 2 experiments. And so I only did it with 2 labels because I didn't have a lot of time. The first one would have been 10 cents cheaper on Pirate Ship. The other one would have been 24 cents more expensive on Pirate Ship. So I finished shipping all my stuff through eBay. But what on my PayPal account is that Chase Business Ink card that you just got. And then all of my shipping labels are purchased through that card via my PayPal account.
So you okay? Instead of having your, there's that echo again. It goes away in a second when I talk. It's on your end. It's your fault.
Is that? That might be.
When you're buying your shipping, you're buying it through eBay, but instead of it taking out of like your funds that eBay will disperse to you, you have it linked to your PayPal account, but through eBay. And then your PayPal account is linked to your card. So you're not toggling to eBay to Pirate Ship to buy the labels.
I never use Pirate Ship.
Yeah.
And so, I may be missing something if somebody wants to point out what I was missing, but when I priced it out today, it wasn't anything to call Tina about.
I only go to Pirate Ship if my shipping label seems to be outrageous, like on Amazon or eBay, where I'm like, this just doesn't seem right. Let me check out Pirate Ship. So it's on occasion I buy one on Pirate Ship.
Yeah. If I'm sending something to like a friend, I have used Pirate Ship, but I have friends who use Pirate Ship exclusively for their eBay. And isn't there some value in buying your label through eBay as well? Isn't there some sort of a protection or something?
That's what I've always thought. But I think if you can prove that your tracking delivered it, that's all that you need on eBay. I know it's true with Amazon that if the customer says, I didn't get my item, you have to have bought your shipping label through Amazon for Amazon to see the tracking and cover you in those events. However, if you bought your shipping label off of Amazon through Pirate Ship, even though the shipping shows delivered, Amazon does not back you up financially with that.
Right.
So, yeah, all of these things are really, really good tips. And if anybody has any specific questions with credit cards, or once things broke down a little bit more, definitely, drop a link and we can get super specific and showing what that can look like.
Or if anyone wants to school us on some very cool credit cards, like what everyone else is using, like I don't know everything. So
same.
Send it my way.
Always learning and always getting good tips from other people. Just like I hope that some of my tips are helpful. Other people's tips are very helpful to me as well.
Yeah.
All right. So our show time is over. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I will be on again tomorrow at the same time for my Walmart Wednesday show. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking about all things Walmart and where I'm at now this week with Walmart, what I'm learning, what I'm doing, and what I got accomplished. And it will be great timing tomorrow because tomorrow my day is going to be dedicated to doing nothing but Walmart, creating some listings and getting more and more comfortable with the Walmart platform. Today was nothing but Amazon and picking up some orders. And yesterday, all I did was eBay all day long. And when I do eBay, it's just eBay all day long. I build up enough in my draft listings to make those go live. Today was Amazon. Tomorrow will be Walmart. I like to dedicate a whole day to a thing so I can really knock out a whole bunch in that one day.
So see, there's a million different ways to do it.
There are. And look, and that's not been my norm. It's just, and I'm trying to find my new place in right. Because now I have to juggle like what's going to be my new normal. So
Right.
Yeah, it's always an interesting journey. You have to be willing to pivot and adapt to new situations. So I am grateful that I do change well. You know, I'm not someone that's like, oh my God, everything, you know, it's like I can adapt, like, okay, well, we're just going to do it this way now. Or let's try it that way. You always have to be willing to try new things and just, it's going to work or it won't. If it doesn't, now you know.
Reno says hit the like button, but he did say yesterday he was in my Whatnot show, and I said Tina has such a great attitude considering what she's gone through this summer with, you know, Amazon and everything.
Yes, I need to be reminded. Thank you, Rena. You need to remind me in the middle of the show because I'm the worst. I'm the worst. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. And Nicole and I will be back on in 2 more weeks. And then we'll see you guys tomorrow for Walmart Wednesday.
Bye.